Now at 5, how you can get some dental work done for free tomorrow. Plus, the Precious Moments gift shop in Carthage hosts some VIPs signing figurines for customers. And
when will the U.S. House have a new speaker? I'm Natalie Brand on Capitol Hill with a look at the GOP infighting that's holding up a vote.
The 4 states' most watched news starts now.
A dentist in Joplin is giving people the chance to get dental work done free of charge. This is KOAM News at 5. I'm Tanya Bach. Starting at 8 a.m. tomorrow, my dentist is offering to extract a single tooth, fill a single tooth, or clean your teeth at no cost. It'll run until 1 p.m., but officials say you should get there as early as possible because they expect to be very busy. They also say this event will address a major need in the community.
So we live in a community that is typically underserved as far as dentistry goes, and we wanted to provide an opportunity for those underserved patients to be able to come in and get some of those painful areas or areas that are troublesome that they may not otherwise have the opportunity to get addressed.
The My Dentist office is located at 1411 South Range Line in Joplin. Well, Precious Moments in Carthage is welcoming back family from around the world with classes and more at its family reunion. One of the classes allows visitors to make their own Precious Moments figurines with the help of Deb Butcher, daughter.
They are just as important to this brand and the success of this brand as my father, as the creator. And what's happened over the years are these people, they come together, they meet new friends, and these are lifelong friendships that they have.
The Precious Moments family reunion continues through October 14th. Meteorologist Sam Lane joins us today with your forecast.
All right, thank you very much, Tanya. It's a busy day, especially up in northern Kansas and southern Nebraska, where there's a tornado watch in effect right now. Several tornado warnings earlier with these storms back to the west. You can see these storms developing along the dry line now in north central Kansas. That is going to be impacting us later on tonight. But for this evening, we're seeing temperatures dropping through the 70s into the 60s to about a low of 61 degrees by tomorrow morning. And tomorrow morning, as you send the kids out to school, some scattered showers with a temperature of around 62. And then tomorrow afternoon, as they come home, 68 degrees with partly cloudy skies. The winds are going to be up there as we go through the evening hours into tonight, generally around 20 to 25 miles per hour. Then the front will sweep through by tomorrow morning and the winds will still be with us. Looking down the lane, storms tonight, cooler Friday, a chilly weekend, and below normal temperatures all next week. And I'll spell all that out in just a little bit.
All right, thanks, Sam. The Israeli military is preparing for a possible ground invasion of Gaza in the 6th day of fighting. The Biden administration says the safety of Americans stuck in Israel is a top priority. Today, the State Department announced it will start arranging charter flights and other transportation to get them out of the country. U.S. Secretary of State Antony Blinken visited Israel today, meeting with that country's leaders. He heads to Qatar tomorrow, where Hamas leaders live. House Republicans are having more meetings today to try to settle on one House Speaker candidate, with GOP lawmakers withholding their support. Majority Leader Steve Scalise is short at least 10 of the votes he needs to become Speaker. Natalie Brown has more details from Capitol Hill.
House Republicans pick for Speaker Steve Scalise is meeting with members and trying to firm up the support he'll need to get elected on the House floor.
We get everybody in a room together, not individual meetings. I'm not cutting any deals. I want to meet in front of all of our members, answer every question, and just continue to work through to unite and bring our conference together.
Scalise narrowly defeated Ohio Congressman Jim Jordan during a secret ballot vote on Wednesday. A day later, House Republicans remain divided, despite Congressman Jordan on Thursday urging members to unite behind Scalise.
That's Jim being a team player, but like I said, I think there was a significant mistake made yesterday by trying to steamroll a good faith effort to try to get this right.
Republicans are trying to work out their issues behind closed doors before a public vote. They're hoping to avoid the 15 rounds it took for former Speaker Kevin McCarthy to get elected in January.
January was a coronation, and it was difficult. This is a competition, and it's going to be even more difficult.
But time is not on their side. Foreign Affairs Committee Chair Michael McCall calls the GOP infighting a dangerous game.
Our adversaries are watching us, and Israel is watching. They need our help.
The White House says the sooner there's a new speaker in place, the sooner they can move on an aid package for Israel. Natalie Brand, CBS News, Capitol Hill.
Some GOP lawmakers say they expect to work through the weekend to try to unite behind a single speaker candidate. Attorneys for Donald Trump's two co-defendants in his classified documents case appear in a Florida court today. The hearing was all about whether they would seek new counsel based on the fact that their attorneys previously represented people who are now potential government witnesses and could be called to testify against them. One of the co-defendants kept his attorney. The other's hearing was postponed. ACT test scores for high school students in the U.S. fell to their lowest levels in more than 30 years. The average ACT composite score was 19.5 out of 36. Last year's average score was slightly higher at 19.8. Scores for the college admission test have been dropping for 6 straight years. The nonprofit that administers the test says the drop signals fewer students are prepared for a college course load. Still ahead, the newest inflation report.
The government releases the latest numbers on inflation. I'm Bradley Blackburn with why today's news is especially significant for seniors.
And next in Health Watch, we'll have tips for parents on talking to your child about difficult subjects like conflicts in the Middle East. Topping today's Health Watch, researchers in Germany are reporting artificial intelligence, or AI, is rapidly improving skin cancer detection. Data shows new software can correctly identify 99.5% of all skin cancers, including 100% of melanoma cases. But health experts say patients need to also consult a dermatologist and not rely solely on AI. Well, a new study in the British Medical Journal indicates saline injections to treat calcium buildup in the shoulder are not effective. Saline is often used before a steroid injection. Researchers found saline does not give any meaningful benefits, and they say current shoulder treatments need to be re-evaluated. A new research gives the hypertension drug amlodipine a clean bill of health. Recent studies have linked the medication to cardiac issues, but the National Institutes of Health and Glasgow University say the drug is unlikely to increase heart failure in patients. It's hard for many of us to see the graphic and disturbing images coming out of Israel and Gaza. The pictures are all over television and social media. Children and teens may be seeing them as well. Michael George speaks with a psychologist on how parents can talk to their kids about the situation.
The disturbing images and videos of the deadly attacks in the Middle East are difficult to view. That's especially true for children and teens who are seeing the coverage all over social media.
When you're talking to your children, to be aware of what they're seeing is very important because they're not reading the same headlines that you're reading. They're seeing raw footage that is really not even okay for adults to see, let alone a child to see.
Dr. Sanam Hafiz is a neuropsychologist in New York City. She says consider a child's age and maturity when starting the conversation.
I think the easiest thing for a parent to do is to say, honey, I know that you're hearing a lot about war and a lot of very terrible things happening. Would you like us to have a conversation about this? Is there something you want to ask me?
Dr. Hafiz says use simple, honest, age-appropriate language. Avoid graphic details or unnecessary information that might be upsetting.
Not only is their sense of safety shaken, but the PTSD, the trauma that they're envisioning that might end up in intrusive thoughts, nightmares, worries about families back here at home, you can change that narrative by reminding them that they're safe. You're not just teaching them about this conflict, you're teaching them how to think in the future.
And everyone needs to take a break from round-the-clock coverage. Turn off electronic devices and do something you enjoy. Michael George, CBS News, New York.
Encouraging kids to take positive actions is also a good way to address these difficult situations. That's a look at today's health news. A little later, why negotiations between striking Hollywood actors and studios have stalled.
And we have a cold front moving in from the north and west. I'll let you know how cold it's going to be over the weekend, as well as our storm chances tonight when we come back. Well, it was another warm, windy day across the 4 states, but some changes are coming. First, we have to get through some thunderstorms right now out at Seneca, Missouri, at Indigo Sky Casino and Resort. We have lots of blue sky, but also you can see the cumulus clouds out there this afternoon. We made it up to 76 today, which was again above normal, 72 the normal high, 59 was the low so far, and that was 10 degrees above the normals. And of course, we're way behind on the rainfall, but we're going to catch up a little bit as we head into the overnight hours. Right now, pick out your hometown. Temperatures are generally in the mid 70s across the area. 71 in Yates Center, though, 77 in Fort Scott, 73 down in Anderson, as well as Neosho, with those strong south winds continuing. Radar shows a line of thunderstorms developing now in central Kansas. That is along the dry line. Tornado warnings earlier for this complex in southern Nebraska. That is all. The nasty weather is going to stay up to the north, but we are going to get some thunderstorms developing along that dry line later on tonight. In fact, looking at the satellite view, you can see some congested cumulus here just to the west of Wichita. We're also watching this area in northwestern Oklahoma. That is the beginnings of more storms that are expected to fire later on, and those will move in our direction as we head into the overnight hours. There is a risk of severe weather, but that's mainly going to be well up to the north. There's a marginal risk in our area. Rain chances are going to be increasing as we go through the overnight hours into tomorrow morning, and then dramatically decreasing tomorrow afternoon. Rainfall amounts are expected to be around 1/4 of an inch, maybe as much as 1/2 an inch on the GFS model and the graph model. The European model is a little bit more generous, and hopefully it will verify, but it's going to be very widely scattered. So if you get a thunderstorm tonight with some rain, be thankful. Temperatures tonight are going to drop through the 60s, and by 4 a.m. those scattered storms will be in our area moving through. And then here comes the cold front as we go into Friday morning, and that will sweep in, and temperatures will be dropping behind it and then warming slowly up into the lower 60s by afternoon. And then as we go into Saturday morning, we're going to see temperatures dropping down to around 50 degrees with partly cloudy skies down in Oklahoma, cloudy elsewhere. And unfortunately for the eclipse at around noon on Saturday, it looks to be mostly cloudy. So unfortunately, it looks like we're going to miss that unless you go down into Oklahoma with temperatures in the mid-50s and northwest winds. And then as we go into Saturday afternoon, northwest winds continuing with highs only in the mid-50s. And then as we go into Sunday morning, temperatures dropping down into the upper 40s and lower 50s with some breaks in the clouds. Here's the cold front as it goes through tonight and tomorrow morning. That will take the rain and precipitation with it. And then the chilly air will start to come down into our region as we go into the weekend and stay quite cool for quite some time. In fact, here's a look at the 7-day forecast. Much cooler on Saturday with a high of only 59. And then cooler still on Sunday with a high of 58, with lows in the 30s on Monday and Tuesday morning, so some frost possible. And then next weekend, or next week I should say, towards the end, it's going to be a little bit unsettled with temperatures in the 60s and lows in the 40s with a chance of precipitation.
I'm looking forward to a cooler weekend. It'll
Me
be
too.
nice. Yes,
Yeah.
give those ACs a break, and well, we'll probably have to turn on the heater. I don't know if we can handle it.
That's exactly right.
All right, thanks, Sam. Well, the Biden administration says more than 42,000 people have signed up for the American Climate Corps. The Workforce Training and Service Initiative launched just 3 weeks ago. It's aimed at preparing young Americans for jobs in clean energy and climate resilience. The Corps will support a range of jobs, including restoring coastal wetlands, building clean energy projects, and forest management to help fight wildfires. Coming up, how the latest inflation report is going to impact Social Security payments next year. Topping today's Consumer Watch, negotiations have been suspended between Hollywood Studios and SAG-AFTRA, the union representing about 160,000 actors. In its statement, the Alliance of Motion Picture and Television Producers said the gap between it and SAG-AFTRA is too great, and conversations are no longer moving in a productive direction. The studios said the union's latest offer included what the union characterized as a viewership bonus that would cost more than $800 million per year. A Montana federal judge is criticizing a contested state law that bans TikTok from all personal devices. The judge says the legislation appears driven by paternalistic views of social media users and suggests lawmakers could have taken other steps to achieve their goals. The sharp criticism of Montana's legislature and attorney general comes as TikTok and content creators on the platform sought a ruling to temporarily block the law. And a new report shows inflation remains high, but prices for some items are improving. Bradley Blackburn takes us inside the numbers.
Price hikes at the grocery store are getting closer to historically normal levels, up just 2.4% last month. But rent prices remain a problem, with rates going up more than 7%. Overall, inflation rose 3.7% in September, a big drop from last year's peak, but still above the 2% target regulators want to see.
I think when we look at how consumers are managing their personal finances here, it's still a juggling act for many Americans.
That includes senior Stephanie Raha.
And certainly we go to restaurants, coffee shops. The prices are just stunning compared to a couple of years ago.
Raha and others on Social Security will soon get more money. The cost of living adjustment is going up 3.2% starting in January. That's way down from the last benefit increase because inflation has dropped significantly in the past year. But the average recipient will still get a boost of about $50 a month. Would that be helpful to you?
It would. I mean, I do have some savings, but Social Security matters a lot.
Inflation has stayed above 3% since June. Now the Federal Reserve has to decide if more action is needed. The Fed has been raising interest rates to slow rising prices and previously signaled there could be another increase before the end of the year. And a cut won't come anytime soon.
Whether there's one more rate hike or not between now and the end of the year, the expectation is fully that rates will remain higher for longer.
The Fed will make its next decision on rates in November. Bradley Blackburn, CBS News, New York.
Well, Family Dollar is recalling a large number of over-the-counter drugs and medical products that were sold in stores in nearly half of the country. The company says it is recalling the products because they were stored outside of labeled temperature requirements. The products were then shipped to 23 states and sold between June 1st and October 4th. The recalled products include over-the-counter cold medicine, vitamins, toothpaste, and children's medicine. Well, final check of the forecast is next. Up next on CBS Evening News, more on U.S. Secretary of State Antony Blinken's role in the war between Israel and Hamas. And then on KOAM News at 6, authorities in Montgomery County arrest 2 people in possession of nearly 1,000 fentanyl pills. Plus, we'll hear from a domestic violence survivor about the legal challenges she's facing to regain her independence. And we'll hear from the Pitt State Gorillas ahead of this weekend's rivalry game against Missouri Southern. Stay with us for the CBS Evening News and then KOAM News at 6. Well, to be the first to see breaking news, weather, and sports, you can download the KOAM News app. It's available free of charge in the Apple App Store and the Google Play Store. Just search for the KOAM News app. And one lucky person is America's newest billionaire. A Powerball player in California hit the $1.73 billion jackpot last night. Darn it wasn't me. The winner broke a streak of 35 straight drawings without a ticket matching all 6 numbers. The jackpot is the world's second largest lottery prize. The winner can choose between payments through an annuity, which will be doled out over 30 years, or a cash option estimated at $756.6 million.
They'll probably get maybe a third of that because of the taxes in California.
Yeah, that doesn't even take out the taxes, for sure. You got to think about that.
Yeah.
Final check of the forecast.
We have some storms developing on radar that will be developing as we go into the overnight hours. Showers in the morning, colder by the weekend with temperatures only in the 50s for highs, lows in the 40s and 30s by early next week, and then another storm system late next week.
All right, well, thanks for joining us. The CBS Evening News is next, and of course, we'll be right back here for KOAM News at 6, and we'll see you then. Have a great evening and an even better tomorrow.